The sea has a memory. They say a restless, ancient consciousness that remembers every soul it has taken, and every miracle it has spared. This is the story of Miguel Salazar, a simple fisherman who faced the impossible and returned from the edge of the world. Chapter 1. The departure. Miguel was no adventurer. He was a quiet man from a small coastal village in El Salvador. Known for his calloused hands, a deep love for his daughter, and an almost spiritual connection to the ocean. Fishing was his life. The sea was his temple. On November 12, 2022, Miguel and a young apprentice named Carlos set out on what should have been a 2-day fishing trip aboard a small fiberglass boat, La Esperanza. They stocked up on fuel, water, bait, and dreams. The sky was clear, the wind gentle. But the ocean is a fickle friend. Chapter 2. The storm. On the second night, the radio sputtered and died. Then came the storm scene, unpredicted and unforgiving. Waves like mountains smashed into their tiny boat, Suze. They lost power, direction, and eventually, each other. Carlos was gone by dawn. Whether the boy had fallen overboard or given himself to the sea, Miguel never knew. He wept 4 days, clutching the oar like a crucifix, praying for the storm to give him back the only other soul who had known this terror. When the storm passed, La Esperanza floated aimlessly. The motor was dead, the GPS ruined. No radio, no sails. Just Miguel and the endless blue. Chapter 3. Isolation. Days turned to weeks. Weeks into months. Miguel collected rainwater in empty bottles and cups. He caught fish with his bare hands, or used his shoelaces to fashion a crude line and hook. He ate raw meat, seaweed. He grew thinner, his skin leathered by the sun. Every day he whispered his daughter's name. At night, dreams became his salvation and his curse. Sometimes he dreamed of rescue. Other times, he imagined waiting on the shore, her tiny hands holding a seashell to her ear, listening for his voice. But the worst nights were the quiet ones. When the sea was so still it seemed like time had stopped. Those nights, the stars looked close enough to touch. He spoke to them. To God. To Carlos, Stu. To himself. "Not yet," he'd whisper. "I still have to go home." Chapter 4. The will to live. Miguel learned the rhythms of the ocean. He knew when rain would fall. He could smell approaching schools of fish. He recognized the cries of seabirds, using them as clues to where life stirred. Once, he saw a cargo ship in the distance. He lit a flare, the last one. But no one saw, or perhaps, no one believed their eyes. His beard grew wild. His fingernails curled like claws. His eyes burned with salt and sun. Yet he endured. He began carving days into the side of the boat. But when he reached day 300, he stopped. "I don't want to count anymore," he told the sea. "I want to live." He began building a sail from pieces of tarp, stitched with fishing line and hope. He steered with an oar lashed to the stern. It was slow, like moving a mountain with a feather, but it gave him purpose. Chapter 5. The dream that saved him. On the night of day 501, Miguel dreamed of standing at the beach, her hair blowing like a flag. She called his name. "Papa," she said. "You're almost there." He woke up crying. The wind had changed. He could smell something. Soil, flowers. On the morning of day 503, a tiny island appeared on the horizon, remote, uninhabited, but solid ground. Miguel collapsed to his knees as La Esperanza scraped against the sand. He had survived. He was found 2 days later by a research vessel, sunburnt and half-mad, but alive. Chapter 6. The return. When Miguel returned to his village, a crowd gathered to greet him. Ran into his arms, her sobs washing over his soul like warm rain. He was thinner, older, scarred. But his spirit had not broken. People called him the man the sea couldn't kill. Reporters asked him how he survived. He didn't speak of the fish, or the stars, or the sail he built from scraps. He just smiled and said, "I had a reason." And that reason: his daughter, his dreams, and the unshakable belief that hope floats was what the sea could never drown.